Hello everybody, this is Varfish, and welcome back to my tutorial series on how to play the Velvet Book, a Persona tabletop role-playing game. Today's subject is the Arcana route. If we recall, the Arcana just represents the character traits and circumstances that surround the character we have made, and it can be pretty neat to provide a representation of how our character has grown over the course of the campaign. We represent this through our Arcana route, or our Arcana levels. And to advance through our levels, we have to satisfy achievements. There are 4 achievements to be earned at every level, and we start at level 0 and at level 5. To hit levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, we have to earn 3 achievements, while for level 5, we do need to earn all 4. There are 2 types of achievements, that being perpetual and unique. Perpetuals are the same and available at every level, while uniques are different for each level. So there will be 4 available at any time. 2 of them will be the same no matter what level you're on, while 2 of them will be different depending on what level you're on. Leveling up through our Arcana route is important because we are able to make our rolls better by applying our aspects. I went over aspects a little bit in the character creation guide, but just to reiterate, we draw our aspects from our Arcana. The Arcana that we choose will ask us some questions. We answer those questions, and our answers will affect what roles we can add a modifier to. So if you're able to apply your aspect to a role, you can add your Arcana level in height, and at levels 3 and onward, you can start adding +1 or +2 in width. The benchmarks for the +1 or +2, it's at level 3 you get +1 width, and at level 5 you get +2. This can be very powerful, so I recommend really thinking about what you want your aspects to be, because you can get some pretty good mileage and create a lot of really good sets by making your aspects really actionable. For your persona, odd Arcana levels, so that would be 1, 3, and 5, give you a rank of your Arcana Extra. The Arcana Extra is different depending on what Arcana you have. They all have a unique 1 or 2. And even Arcana levels, that being 2 and 4, give you a free quality. But both of these can be installed on whichever part of your persona you choose. And the quality isn't limited to what Arcana you're playing as, unlike the Extra. So it can be any quality. It can be an attack, defend, heal, ailment, or useful. Doesn't matter. Okay, now let's look at the Magician. The Magician is usually a creative and optimistic fellow. They represent the more quote unquote positive side of knowledge and talent, and they're usually attached to a dream of some sort that is considered by others to be impossible and out of reach. Our aspects will be derived from these 3 questions. What is your talent? From where do your ideas spring? And of what implausible dream are you convinced? The Arcana Extra we get is power. Usually restricted only for elemental attacks. However, depending on your team composition and what persona you're trying to build, your GM may just take away that restriction. Now, to again show our achievements here, we have 2 perpetual achievements. These will be available to us at every level, and then you can see for every level there are 2 unique achievements. You'll notice that for perpetuals, these are marked by squares, but for uniques, we have triangles, and for the first 3 levels, these triangles are pointing in different directions. This represents the fact that uniques can be either upright or reversed. Upright represents the more positive side of the Arcana, while the reversed represents the more negative side. So, for example, for level 1, the quote unquote positive achievement is to be resourceful, which falls in line with our creative talent, while the reversed is to get frustrated. So, this can come from the impossibility of our dream. And while there is no direct negative consequence for taking the reversed achievements, your GM may add additional complications down the road. So just keep that in mind. You'll also notice that to get to level 4 and 5, there are no reversed achievements. So from that point forward, only positive or only making large forward strides in our character arc. Now, enough about that. Generally, though, for this Arcana route, you'll notice that we're really just working towards that dream. Over, like, we're breaking down barriers, being creative, and then doing the impossible and achieving self-realization. That is the Magician. Next, let's look at the High Priestess. This is your intuitive, kind of gut feeling based knowledge character, and they're kind of a little bit mysterious and arcane, even, but mystical. And they usually prefer to operate from behind the scenes. Our three aspects will be from the questions: what rare knowledge do you possess? What do your instincts tell you? And what secrets do you wish to uncover? The Arcana extra that we get is effective or heal. You can choose which one you want at every time you're able to get an Arcana extra. It just can't be both at the same time. You don't get two, you just get one. You pick from the two. Again, our perpetual achievements involve both solving obscure problems or just trusting our intuition. And you can see over the course of the Arcana route, we are solving those secrets. Our highest possible goals are both two different ways. We are solving some mystery or large conspiracy that we use our skill to be aware of. The Empress is our compassionate and loyal, emotionally aware, kind of motherly leader type who will do anything to bring up and protect the people that depend on her. So naturally, our aspects will be from the questions: who depends on you, towards what are you compassionate, and with what beauty are you engaged. And the beauty is just kind of referring to your queen-like poise, I guess, is what we'll say. The Arcana extras for the Empress are effective and area. Now you'll see for our perpetual achievements, where again, just focusing on helping out those who depend on us and showing off our queen-like poise. And then for the overall route, we are slowly but surely continuing to bring up our dependents and eventually getting them to the point where they can stand on their own 2 feet so we can focus on ourselves. The Emperor is our powerful and brimming with authority, more masculine leader type who is, for lack of a better term, just the boss. Naturally, our aspects will be driven from the questions of whom are you the leader, what kind of power do you have, and who looks up to you. Our Arcana extra is power, specifically physical power. Again, depending on your GM, they might let you take off that restriction. For the perpetual achievements, we have obtain power, because good bosses are always getting more resources for their people. And then man up, which doesn't always have to be the more reductive variety. It can be a more elevated acknowledgement of, normal feelings and taking responsibility for the things that you must. But if you're early on, it can just be, being a bit of a masculine macho dickhead, for lack of a better term. Now, over the course of our Arcana route, we will be growing our power and then kind of being a role model and a good example for our people as we go higher and higher up the levels until eventually we can put all of our power that we've amassed on the line and then leave our power behind because we've proven that what we've done will last for all time. The Hierophant can be secular or divine in its basis of morality, and although maybe not as directly a leader as the Emperor or the Empress, they still see themselves as responsible for guiding their quote unquote flock. Our aspects are what doctrine do you follow, to what tradition do you adhere, and who are your flock. Our Arcana extras are effective and area. You can see from our perpetual achievements that we are looking to guide our flock by giving advice and counsel and doing good works that show that we are more than just our words and doing actions that correspond to our code or system of beliefs. Over the course of our Arcana route, we'll be displaying the commitment that we have to our code by, again, just abiding by it, bringing others into it, and then showing that even without our code, we are still just really, really devoted to being good and having a high devotion towards helping others. The lovers are our passionate and emotional, romantic, heart on fire types of people that, because of their love for relationships of all kinds, sometimes have to deal with difficult choices. Our aspects will come from the questions: for whom does your heart burn? How do you express your feelings? And what decision do you face? Our Arcana extras are heal and recoil. For our perpetual achievements, you will see that we grow from being true to our heart and confessing our feelings by just being truthful and honest about how we feel about things. We also grow from making hard choices. These are the two main things. You'll see it's pretty cut and dry what lovers are about. They're about, well, loving, right? But more broadly, just being in touch with their feelings and then making decisions. Over the course of our Arcana route, we will, again, just focus on doing these two main things by connecting with people in gradually more real, I would say, ways, and then committing ourselves to making hard decisions and dealing with the fallout. The Chariot is our fiery, confident, and determined winner type character who really, really will do damn near anything to get a victory in the bag. Our aspects come from the questions: what is your arena? What adds fuel to your engine? And what makes you lose control? Fuel to your engine is just like what makes your character keep going, what keeps them running around the track on their quote unquote chariot. Your Arcana extra is fast. Now, for our perpetual achievements, we can see clear as day right there. We have winning, which makes sense. And then overcoming obstacles. So that's just making sure that no matter what your chariot does, what your chariot encounters, they are still going to keep on pushing through, or they're leaping over, or just busting the door right down to get past anything placed in their way. Over the course of our Arcana route, we see that we will continue keep winning, really. And then also over time, accepting that sometimes we don't win, or we don't have to win if not winning is will lead to a more good outcome, more good, nice outcome for our friends. And then eventually, even just surpassing our perceived talents and areas of expertise to show that we don't even need some of our skill set to win, or we don't even need to fight to win. Justice is our, well, pretty cut and dry here. They are believers of a code that is more focused on just right and wrong and enacting justice. Our aspects come from the questions: to what law do you adhere? Where does fairness matter to you? And what wrong do you need to right? And this wrong will usually come from your character's backstory. The Arcana Extra is fast. For our perpetual achievements, we will be upholding truth, so calling out liars wherever we see them, and then taking a stand. So that is, again, putting our money where our mouth is, and taking action and enacting justice where we see fit. You'll see a kind of similarity with the Hierophant here, but this is very much so just hard focused on ideas of right and wrong, while the Hierophant can be a bit more broad in its moral sensibilities. Now, over the course of our Arcana route, interestingly, our character will kind of explore the fact that justice is kind of hard to pin down and not so black and white. So over time, we'll be just growing as a character and embracing the fact that sometimes you have to let people go, sometimes you mess up, and sometimes things aren't so simple. The Hermit is our secretive and solitary character who has a certain talent they are best at while by themselves. Our aspects will come from the questions: at what task are you better alone? What is your haven? And what is your escape plan? So our haven will be like, what safe space do we have set aside from ourselves to get away from people and be alone? And the escape plan is just, how are we getting away from people? Like what strategies are we using? Our Arcana Extra is power of the elemental variety. Already talked about that elemental restriction, so you know what to do. For our perpetual achievements, you will see that we benefit from doing things by ourselves. And then also taking the time we spend by ourselves to better ourselves and sharpen our knowledge. You'll see over the course of our Arcana route, we again continue to benefit from using our knowledge that we have honed in our own time away from others, but also eventually learning to spread and share that knowledge with the people around us, and then taking on the spotlight when it's necessary. Fortune is for characters who are really all about change. They're usually unhappy with some aspect of their life and are ready to get out there and change it up in a pretty big way. The questions we'll draw our aspects from are: what treasure do you seek? What do you wager? Into what new circumstances can you adapt? The treasure that you'll be seeking will likely be some sort of life goal or just whatever change that your character would like to see enacted upon them. The Arcana Extras are heal and recoil. For our perpetual achievements, you can see that we benefit from taking risk. So again, getting out there and embracing and inviting change. While inviting risk, we also have to be okay with when it turns back on us and we end up tripping and failing. It is about the acceptance of the karmic wheel. You can see over the course of our Arcana route, we benefit from continuing to just be an ally to change and inviting them in whenever we have the opportunity to do so, while also being acceptive of the fact that sometimes the change that we're looking for isn't always the most important thing in the world. Now, that is all I'll be covering today. Arcanas 11 through 20 will be coming to you whenever I feel like it. I'm not really hard committing to an upload schedule. I hope you found this informative. If you have any questions, let me know, let your GM know, and read up.